You know, one of the reasons why I chose this poem is its relevance. Although it was written by Kipling and refers to, you know, a British army where they wore red coats, nothing's changed. And I actually once performed this poem years ago, and in the audience were some Vietnam veterans, and they had tears in their eyes when I finished. And I suddenly realized that, yes, you know, he got it spot on, Rudyard Kipling. And, you know, things have, of course, changed in certain circumstances, but the underlying philosophy of the serving soldier getting short shrift has, unfortunately, not entirely changed.
Fantastic. Tell me about the tradition of learning poems in England when you grew up.
There was also, you know, this strong oral tradition of, you know, learning poetry at school and so on. I mean, I still have, you know, Browning's "My Last Duchess," which all kinds of poems that you know, rattle around in one's head. Of course, Shakespeare too. One's, you know, raised with Shakespeare, and if you're an actor in Britain, you don't consider yourself an actor unless you have a working knowledge and experience of Shakespeare. So I'm glad that's there. I'm not sure if it's still the same, where, you know, poetry is considered important, and you know, a certain oral tradition survives, where actually speaking a poem is, you know, considered something of value. I hope it's true, but you know, it's one thing to read a poem, but to speak it, to communicate it, is something else.
Do you think that, in general or specifically, a poet wrote a poem to be read or a poem to be spoken?
That's a very interesting question. Obviously, Tommy, there's a speaking voice.
That's a clear thing.
You can't, you know, you can't deny it.
Right.
He leaps out of the page at you, and those barrack room ballads, for which Kipling is justly famous, all have these wonderful, you know, narrators, if you like. Maybe there are more intellectual poems that, you know, serve us better when they're read. It's a point I honestly can't answer. I think it's apples and oranges again.
Great. All right. Well.